Welcome to another episode of Ghosts Are Near, where we discuss various aspects of the paranormal and paranormal investigation. I am your host, Keith Johnson. With me is my co-host and co-founder of N.E.A.R, Sandra Johnson.
Hello there.
Stop laughing.
I'm sorry. The greetings thing.
Well, let's start off by, I want to start off by reading a few emails here that we got from some fans. And very, very kind of you to write in. We always welcome your opinions. This is by Valley Rojas. I like Keith and Sandra. Keith, good job on TV investigation a while back. You never let me down. You always are aware of what needs to be done when demonic spirits are or could be around. Thank you. Thank you so much, Valley. Appreciate that. And this one's from Debbie Franson. Keith and Sandra, you and your team are such a great inspiration to paranormal investigators. I am humbled by your knowledge. Well, thank you so much. Bless you for saying so.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is from Lee Finney. You really need to get off local cable access. Maybe the retro channel thingy. Should we go retro?
The retro channel. Well, if they're offering.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lee, very much. Appreciate it. And here's something we just received, a very special certificate of insanity. And it's got our old friend Alice Cooper there from the Chuckles and Laugh Show. This is a gift from Chuckles the Evil Clown and Nurse Misery. So this is so cool, I think.
It is very cool. We're big Alice Cooper fans here.
Yes,
on the
so
N.E.A.R
that's
show.
quite an honor. I'm crazy, you're crazy, we're all crazy. Alice Cooper, that's excellent. Official certificate of insanity. So that is indeed quite an honor. Thank you, Chuckles and Nurse Misery. We really, really appreciate it. Now, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce the paranormal bikers, Brian Lambert and Steve Sztabor. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Two of the coolest guys you'd want to know. I mean, they're paranormal investigators and they're bikers, and they do a lot of good deeds for people. So let's give it up for Brian and Steve.
Oh, we're getting applause.
There you go.
Yes,
Thank you.
getting applause.
Paranormal investigation just doesn't get any cooler than this.
No, it doesn't.
Thank you.
We try.
We'd like to think of ourselves as a first in the field with
I
that
think you
particular
are.
going in that venue.
Well, that's cool. We're honored to have the paranormal bikers right here in our studio.
We're happy you asked us.
Shirts.
You asked us
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, drove right in, right, guys?
I wish.
Yeah, and we apologize that you were not able to bring the bikes into the studio, but that just wasn't our decision, unfortunately.
Protocol is
You
protocol.
gave us nice color lights,
Right,
though.
yes. We haven't added the ramp yet, that's right. So,
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
the next time you're on.
It was great. I mean, look, it's wonderful that you have biker green
yep,
in the
exactly.
backdrop. So
Matches.
Yeah,
Make
it's
you guys
perfect.
feel at home.
Nice
Excellent.
logo, very nice logo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was our tech guy, Joe and Brian, that came up with the original logos for it. And we've evolved since, but yeah, it's-
Not fooling anybody. We stole a logo from Harley Davidson, but
The truth comes out.
but, yeah, it's been a wild ride so far. No
Great.
pun intended, but yeah, it has been. It's been a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Well, along those lines, can you guys give us a brief history of how the idea for the paranormal bikers came about
you
and
want to take this one?
I feel that.
where it all started?
Brian and I had belonged previously to another paranormal investigative group, and being that we're both bikers, we had gotten in contact with each other, and we were at a bike night one night, and a group of us got together, and Brian was sitting on his bike, I was sitting on my ride, and we were just chatting, and we were talking about investigating, the paranormal, and the next investigation that we were going to attend. And Brian says, yeah, he said, we're just a couple of paranormal bikers. And the light went on, the epiphany hit us, and it was just
Stuck from there.
and it stuck with it, and we pretty much have shared the co-founding duties all along. But Brian came up with the catchphrase, the paranormal bikers, and it just kind of stuck with it. And we thought, now how can we take, or where can we take this? It was just it's been crazy.
Well, I think you're taking it places, for sure.
I like it.
And tell us some of the places that you've taken it.
Oh, my goodness.
We've done a lot of, we do mostly home investigations. And we like to get out and do other things as well. You know, we do the cemeteries and stuff, but our primary is still helping people and doing, as much as we'd like to ride the bikes to people's houses, I'm sure people wouldn't appreciate leaving their house at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with loud pipes, but
Well,
we try to get it in together wherever we can.
Yeah, exactly.
I know this isn't one of the questions that I had actually planned to ask you, but since you're talking about client investigations, what types of client investigations will you take on? Do you just go in when they ask you to do a validation of a haunting, or will you go in if they're telling you that it's more of a malevolent seeming
Well, the
haunt?
perfect example of that was the investigation prior to the one we had just concluded Saturday night was in Natick, Massachusetts, and it was a single lady living in a single-family home, private residence. She had things like bed shaking, shadows moving, all of the basic earmarks, footsteps in the night, that type of thing, the basic earmarks of a haunting, or at least active, let's put it that way. What we had done is, and as we do with all of our investigations, is we go in and we do a baseline reading, but we also do an environmental study of the house first.
Great.
And we found out that her electrical services weren't properly grounded, the outlets weren't properly grounded, and her furnace as well. And she is highly EMF sensitive.
Yeah.
So thus the blurred vision, the nausea, the dizziness, the skin crawling, the itching, so forth, and so on, the paranoia. So we were able to ascertain that 90% of the problem was environmental and her sensitivity to it. But we went through and did the investigation anyway, and unbeknownst to us, Diane Farrell, who is founder and owner of Australian Ghost Adventures, who is our medium psychic, she found an open portal, believe it or not, in the basement of the house, and it was directly underneath the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
And she had complained about the bed moving and shaking and almost like sleeping on a waterbed type of sensation, waving type thing. And we were able to close the portal with the aid of Diane was able to close it with the aid of myself and another medium that had come to help us out from Salem, Mass, actually, Deborah. And thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. And like I said, we did a full investigation of the home. We did come up with some rather startling EVPs. And it quieted down for about 6 or 7 weeks or so, and the activity's back again. So we're going to have to do a follow-up. And but she did have an electrician come in, and she straightened out all the environmental problems.
Well, that's great. That's
But we
fantastic.
believe
she
that
was open to that
Yes.
idea of yours, because a lot of the time, what we've noticed is that clients don't want to hear that sort of thing. Half the time, they're relieved that that's the cause of the seeming paranormal activity.
This lady was actually in terror. She was terrified. She was happy to get any results as long as we could figure out what was wrong. So she was happy that we figured it out for the most part. And
Yeah, we get some great testimonial letters from the bikers. You saved my life, and I can sleep in my own home again. And
Fantastic.
Well, that's great because you dealt with the mundane causes and the spiritual aspects as well.
yeah.
So if you can be all inclusive like that, I think that's great.
We're very fortunate that we have a very talented group of people that took some time to assemble. Took better part of a year to get the basic group together.
and we have enough friends as well. We work with a lot of other groups. So if there is something that's beyond us, we know a good demonologist that would come down and take a look. So, and we're not.
They know a good demonologist.
His last name's Johnson.
Oh.
So I mean, we're not too proud. We'll
Yeah,
have somebody
right.
come
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
The client's always number one.
Right.
So.
Well, I think every group should be like that. If you need assistance, just don't hesitate to ask, and we wouldn't hesitate to call you guys.
Appreciate it.
too,
Thank you.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah, the whole thing of sharing in the paranormal community without the drama and without the our team's better than your team kind of thing.
Right,
If
right.
you do put the client first, problem solved.
Exactly.
So that's what we do our best to try to do that.
And what about your experiences with, on a somewhat lighter note, depending on your point of view, Precious Blood Cemetery? I know that you have investigated there on occasion. It's for a cemetery. I mean, Keith and I don't do many cemetery investigations, but that being the exception, because we seem to have good luck capturing phenomena there.
Precious blood,
And-
especially considering the history of the place.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And you are Woonsocket based, right?
Yes.
That's correct. But we have members from Massachusetts as well as from
And one from Australia, too.
Australia. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Quite
exactly.
diversified.
Has she moved here from Australia?
She comes to visit here like 3 times a year, stays for several
I
months,
see.
and then she goes back because she still has her business there and family there and so forth. So, but she comes out here and she just loves it here. And New England, I mean, in Australia, New England is the place to go.
Great. Yeah, well, we've had our friend Alison Oborn
Yes.
from Paranormal Field Investigators here, too, and she's been a guest on our show. So the Aussies do get around.
Yes, they do.
They like New England.
All right.
Precious Blood Cemetery, as,
Yeah.
as you were asking. Yeah, we were there a few weeks ago, and we tried a few things that we hadn't tried before. We tried a plasma globe.
That was, we went there with Rob and Mike McCoy.
Rob Harrington,
Mike McCoy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Peter
Peter
Bantnero.
Bantnero, yep.
Peter Bantnero.
Yep, you know those guys?
All those
Good guys.
names.
We had some fun with the PX box, and it was. I never believed in it. I really didn't. I didn't put much faith in it until that night.
Right.
And
And what is it that changed your mind?
Brian, you want to?
Well, excuse me, we were, you get that feeling at Precious Blood. You've been there many times. I've been there with you. We were in an area and we were getting a feeling, but there was nothing to back it up. And the PX device was saying random things here and there, and just little things. So I was getting kind of aggravated, and I smoke cigarettes, and I had put the butts in my pocket, and I finally was getting aggravated. I grabbed one, and I turned around, and I said, "You know what? You're not gonna do anything here." And I threw the cigarette butt on the ground at a grave. And what was the first thing that said? The PX device.
Oh well,
Within seconds, not even seconds, it was
it
immediate.
said sit. Was the very first thing that it said, and
All right.
Brian had sat down.
That was just before I threw the
Just
cigarette.
before he threw the cigarette butt, and it literally cursed Brian out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in not so figurative terms. Yeah, and then it was, it said to leave or out.
Told me to leave.
Told him to leave.
Called me retarded.
Call him retarded. Disrespect.
Yep.
Nothing personal, right?
No, it was.
I've never been cursed out by a spirit and actually felt
Yeah,
so
it
bad.
was-
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Well, you'll think twice next time.
It won't happen again, I assure you.
No more throwing butts at
I picked it
cemetery
up.
stones. All right, well,
But
that's
it was,
better.
It was quite the experience. We had very little up to that point, and then Brian seemed to stir things up with that.
Sometimes that's what it
had a lot of
takes.
fun.
Yeah,
Wanna get
I
some-
left.
Yeah, Brian did leave.
I felt so bad, I ended up leaving.
And for our audience, you may remember Brian on a previous episode with Brian Hanwha when we were in an upstairs apartment using a box, and didn't get that quite dramatic results that night. As you
No, I
did.
think that night we were using just the ghost box that
Yes,
night.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was still good. It's always good to get together with you guys, so.
you
Great.
were using a PX? I don't know if I'm familiar with
It's
that.
it's an ovulus,
It's like
pretty much.
an
next
ovulus.
generation
Oh,
ovulus.
okay. Oh, all right. We actually have an ovulus.
It has
That's been
two
there's been an
settings. It
improvement on
has
that.
one you can utilize the internal memory of the word cat that it has in stored, and then it has a frequency counter that picks up and literally just spits out a word.
See, we only have the internal memory.
sounds. Just random sounds.
Random sounds
Yeah.
too.
Oh, really?
And it'll and which is not, it doesn't have a set vocabulary in one setting versus the other one. So this was on the random set, and it was just coming up with all of these things that were pertinent to the situation. So it was pretty wild.
This is one of the good things about having so many different paranormal groups and investigators on
Yeah.
our show. It seems like almost every time we have somebody different on, there's a new technique or some new piece of equipment that we've not even heard of.
That's why we work with a lot of other groups. Nobody knows everything. You work with other groups, you learn new things. And
Absolutely.
everybody's here to learn, so.
Steve, you have a friend, George, and his mom bought something, and you wrote about it, and I thought it was a very interesting story, and I thought maybe you could just briefly.
Yeah, again,
tell that.
it was really a wild. It was one of my first experiences in dealing with the paranormal. I had gone with George and his mom to an estate sale, and she had purchased a small jewelry box. I think it was like $2 or $3. It was a small wooden box. The hinges were loose. It was kind of, but she liked it, so she took it home, and she was attempting to put some things away. It had the cover open. The cover slammed. Without it, she just assumed it was, it just closed on her. But when it opened on its own, that was another thing. She refused to sleep actually in the bedroom for I don't know how many days. We had left. One night I came over there to have supper with the family, and you could hear bang open, and it was the box, and it was.
Wow.
So she took it and she threw it in the closet, and she left it for about a month. Took it out and opened it, put it back on the bureau because she hadn't heard anything from it. She put her earrings in the box. The box slammed shut, and once it had slammed shut, it never opened on its own again. She could use it freely, and the story relates to, I guess that was a jewelry box that had belonged to someone, and it was put back to the use that it was intended to. But it was, we were about maybe 13 or 14 years old at the time. And that was one of my very first
Was that like
experiences.
1902?
Pretty close to that. I get around for an old guy.
You see the rapport these guys have.
You got to have a good time.
Yeah, you
Take
do.
yourself too
He's my
serious.
partner in crime.
You look foolish.
Exactly,
Excellent
exactly.
friends. And I think one of the best things that we've come across is everyone in our team is family. Not related, but we've become family. And our families hang around together. The kids, the grandkids, whatever it is, and everyone just gets together, and we have cookouts or pool parties or home festivities and stuff, and everyone's invited to a birthday or to a graduation or whatever, and it's a tight-knit group, and everyone watches out for each other.
Great. Right now, we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we've got some more questions and fascinating discussion with the paranormal bikers. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Keith.
Yeah, do you want to pick this again?
Happy Halloween.
Don't worry. I made sure the treats no longer scream when you bite into them.
Coming out.
Yes. And we are
Nathan-
back. And that was, of course, our Director Richard's house. And as we like to say, our auxiliary North Providence studio. And he does a charity event. He's been doing it for several
does.
years, actually. And actually, it's kind of similar to what you do. You know,
And this is something that we really want to talk about on the show. We want everyone to know about the Paranormal Bikers and their event that they'll be putting on in October. And this show will be airing for the full month of October, so we want you all to know about it. And here they are to tell you about this great fundraiser, excellent cause.
Oh, cool, thank you. First off, the event was started by Mike Boulay, which was the founder of the paranormal group we were in previously. I think this will be the third year that he puts on the Haunt for Hunger. What it is, it's just like a haunted trail. You know, you bring the kids, you know, you have a good time, everybody gets scared, it's a good time. But last year we incorporated a paranormal kind of expo to it, where we have a bunch of local groups come down and they set up equipment, evidence, and they just answer questions. A few local paranormal celebrities came, signed autographs and talked to people. It was a really good time. I think when everything was done last year, we raised over 2,000 cans of food, like $200 for each of the charities that we did it for as well. So
That's excellent.
anytime you can help, it's great, and it's a really good time too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the bikes on display, and I think one of the best parts about it was that as soon as the paranormal community got wind of it, they started contacting us and offering to come and help out the charity. If we had room for them, no problem, we'll make room for you.
Yeah, we had Greg Best and Oracle was down last year.
Right.
Kim Carcosa was down last year with her group. Ray Beal came down from New Hampshire with Ghosts. Spirit was there.
Was there as well.
There was a few.
Carl made it?
Shane.
Yeah.
Shane Johnson was there.
Oh, yeah.
Rhode Island Paranormal.
Yeah.
Carl was there. Dina was there. Nathan Schoonover from Extreme Paranormal and the Ghost and Demon Hunter show. He was there. It was a really good time. And it don't cost you a dime. All you got to do is bring a couple cans of food, and the night's it's a good night. So
The price is right.
Yes, exactly. The price is right.
all you got to do is go to www.hauntforhunger.com. You can get all the information there, the times. It's going to be October 22nd from 5 o'clock till 11 or so. Where else can you go have a night for 2 cans of food?
Right, exactly.
Now, is it just one night?
It's just one night this year. Mike's got a lot going on in his house, so, and with all the other groups and everything, it's kind of hard to get everybody together for 2 nights, so.
Okay.
Well, great job, guys.
Thank you.
And I think we had the website address on the screen, so everyone will know.
Mike Boulay and his family
Where to
work really
go.
hard every year on this, so.
His wife Becky is just like, she's like the driving force on this.
And you know Mike as well, he's been on the show before.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
With
great
Jay
guy,
and-
great guy.
Good. And they really go all out. They take a lot of the expenses out of their own pocket to put this on. They pay for the electricity, for the lighting and for the equipment that we utilize for that night. They purchase items that are used on the haunted trail. And so
He has it at his own house, so I mean, he's got
So they-
hundreds of people that he doesn't know at his house, so
A lot of people don't realize
that's a lot right there.
Right.
what they put into it.
Yeah.
Great.
Our director, Richard, knows all about that. Hundreds
Right,
of
and that footage we
people.
just saw was actually at his house, so. Something I wanted to ask you guys about, your slaughterhouse experience. Now, I don't know if that's an appropriate question to ask two bikers, but we got to know about the slaughterhouse experience.
Yeah, and start with what happened before, leading up to that.
You want to take it?
You want the whole
I'll let you go with it.
And I'll let Brian do the ending.
All right.
What it was is several months ago we had investigated a mill in Woonsocket, and it was active early, and then it had gotten quiet later on in the evening. So our tech guy Chuck says, "Well, I'm going to go in and check the microphones and the cameras, and I'll be right back." So little unbeknownst to us, he kind of belly crawls underneath the camera and grabs a hold of a table leg and spins it and has it sliding across the floor. So myself and Tom were in the control trailer watching this, and we're flipping out. We figure we have the capture. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we're flipping out. And the other guys are walking in there, and he's sitting underneath the camera, Indian style, and he's just like, shh. So we figured that eventually payback was going to be due. And Brian, if you want to...
Yep, payback came Saturday night.
Payback came Saturday night, yeah.
So we're in the slaughterhouse. We didn't get much activity that night. It was, and you tend to find things to entertain yourself through the course of the night. So Chuck had walked into the back of the building, and there was 2 entrances, and I went in through the office. And him and our new guy, Rich, were in there, and they're looking around, and I just wadded up some spitballs and put them in his... So he's walking around, and every time he looked the other way, I would through the door. And he's going, Jesus, something just touched me.
Yeah.
And I got him one time in the forehead, and he's like, there's something in here, something's touching me.
Yeah.
So all night we didn't get much activity, and so he's so happy he's been touched. This is oh, he's so happy. So at the end of the night, we wrap everything up, and he's bragging about his experience, and I said, I hit you with spitballs. And he looked like somebody stepped on his pet cockroach. He was so bummed out.
Yeah, wow.
We're not through yet.
Wow, no.
We're not through yet.
Wow.
So if any of you out there have any idea or intention of approaching these guys about joining the Paranormal Bikers,
Yeah.
this is what you're in for.
You're going to have fun, and you're going to keep young. Yep.
Look out for
Yeah,
spitballs.
that's the thing. You got to have a sense of humor in this.
Yeah,
business.
you gotta. It's got to be light,
Yeah.
but you got to be serious when the time calls for
Right.
it as well.
Right.
And we only got about a minute left of our show, believe it or not. It goes by,
quick.
as I always say, it goes by so fast, and just start getting going, and we're having so much fun. But I understand your missus is a member of your group too.
Yeah, I love my wife. And she brings a lightness to the group, because she's kind of on the scary side. So
Yeah.
she's really nervous. So she's really fun to have on the investigations. Right now she couldn't go Saturday night because she just had surgery last week. So
Yeah.
she's still in the healing process from that. But
And you are now a grandpa.
yeah, 39 years old. Can you imagine?
Wow.
He doesn't look it, does
My
he?
grandson Braden, best baby in the world. I love it.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So nice.
I would say it'd be nice to, feed the kid with sugar and send him home, but my daughter still lives with me, so you're defeating the purpose.
Wow.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, too bad we don't have a picture of him to display, but go to Facebook. I'm sure there are plenty of
There's
pictures
plenty
there,
of them on
right?
Facebook. Yes, there is.
Proud grandpa, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to have you guys on again. We really do, because
love to.
always we just feel like we're just getting started, and
Anytime, man, anytime.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Want for Hunger coming up, and a lot of things going.
OneForHunger.com.
Anybody
Can we
wants
get
any
that
info
again?
on the bikers, they can go to the paranormalbikers.com.
Okay.
Or Paranormal
They can
Bikers. Oh,
find
there
us
we go.
on Facebook.
OneForHunger.com.
Okay, studio audience, anybody wants to come up front and actually meet,
on
you want to
down.
meet the Paranormal Bikers in person,
The one
live,
and
this is your
only.
chance right now, come up front now, okay?
This night only.
Guys, couldn't ask for 2 cooler guys than this, and
It's always a
thank you
pleasure,
so
man.
much for coming
It's
on
always
our
good
show.
hanging out with you,
Yeah,
Keith. Always good.
great,
Always good.
great, thanks
Always
so
good.
much.
We don't see you enough.
It's a good time.
Okay, yeah, come on down, everybody. Meet the Paranormal Bikers in person. As you get your chance right here. If you don't meet them tonight, you can meet them tonight.
Brian.
Okay.
There you get to meet their bikes.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. God
Good
bless.
night. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I'm afraid to stand up with a microphone.
I know, I'm driving you to sound guy crazy over there. I apologize.
Everybody, look at